Hi everyone, Paul McInerney here.
And Suzanne Skillen again.
Today we want to talk about the lessons we've learned over our 70 years on this planet. And trust me, we've had many learning experiences. One of the first lessons that I've learned is not to take advice from broke or unhappy people unless you want to end up like them. So I've had some fantastic mentors in my life, but going back many years, like 30 years ago, I thought I knew it all, and I tried to do everything by myself without listening and taking the necessary action especially on several business investments, and they went bad because I didn't have great mentors. So one of the things that they said is always have great mentors that have actually done what you're looking for. So if you're looking for somebody that you want to have a great relationship with, have a look at their relationship in their life and see how they're getting on. Or somebody that's in business, have they been successful in business before? If you're taking health advice, how is their health? And or their wealth, how is their wealth? And instead of just jumping in and try to do it all yourself, I found that having great mentors has really helped us, especially over the last few years. And it's been an ongoing learning experience as well. So what was one of your great lessons?
Well, just to carry on from what you were saying, I was thinking about, it's so interesting because at the moment there's a lot of life coaches around, and people, who maybe have read a few books or done one course and suddenly they're running their own courses. And I would really suggest to people, look at their lives, really look at their lives, because you're talking about broken people, often people who are very broken and now teaching others without the full knowledge and the background of a life well lived. So I would definitely look back at that, and particularly think about if you were building a house. Would you go to an architect who lives in a broken down old shack with no design? No. If you're having your teeth done, do you go to a dentist who has great teeth or one who's got a mouthful of broken teeth? No. And it's always the same. And that's, people are always pushing on their own ideas and thoughts to you. So you have to be very selective to what you let in and what you listen to, particularly at the moment with so much on social media, where a lot of it is fantasy and fiction.
Bullshit.
Here's that word again. And illusion.
Yeah.
So I think that is really important, what you said. Don't take advice from broken, unhappy people, and really recognize what you're looking for in a mentor, or when you take advice from people who you trust, who inspire you, who are living big, amazing lives. We've had incredible experiences of meeting people who are very wealthy, living abundant lives. And I love the way that when we first started our business, they really supported us and never once put us down, because successful people want you to be successful too. There's enough for everybody, whereas people who are unsuccessful often are grabbing because they think you're going to take away their success by being successful.
A lot of people have a scarcity mentality, but when you're talking with people that have been really successful in business or in life, they have an abundant mentality. And that was one of the things that you've always come from, an abundant mentality, and I come from a scarcity mentality.
Not anymore.
Well, not anymore, but it's taken time and work and having great mentors. So having great mentors is one of my life, one of my great life lessons. And I know that you have fantastic mentors and that as well. And you're mentoring a lot of women and people around the world. And so it's very important to have somebody that's actually walking their talk. And that's what I've found as well.
So true. And mentors are incredibly important. We all need somebody to talk to. But I'm always looking for, if I'm sharing anything, my circle of trust has got smaller as I've got older. That's for sure. And as we got more successful, our circle of trust got smaller, but much more inclusive, transparent. Pure is the word I would say, that there's no jealousies, there's there's no misinterpretation. There's absolute huge amounts of trust by our own little circle of trust
and respect.
Yeah,
trust and respect.
It's so true. So I've always said, surround yourself with people who are going to lift you up. And my little test is when I've met with somebody, when I walk away, do I feel bigger? Do I feel expansive? Do I feel happier? Or do I feel, oh my gosh, like I've been shredded? And that's a real good test of people you want to be around, particularly we're in a business, it's a people business. So that's one of the other things I really have learned. And it's a Maya Angelou quote. It's believe people when they show you who they are. When they first show you who they are, I think should be added. Because how often have you met somebody and just had that feeling something's wrong? They're saying all the right things. Their big smile, and then it looks like they're doing the right things, but there's something wrong. And I'm quite interesting, because when I shake somebody's hand or go close to them, if there's something a little off, my hair stands on end. I don't always listen to that, because I don't always want to believe it about that person. And oh gosh, invariably, well, always, it's come true, hasn't it, for me? So I've gone, oh, we should be, I don't know, there's something about that person, and we haven't wanted to believe it.
Well, they're not congruent.
Yeah.
And your intuition is telling you, and sometimes we don't like to listen to our intuition. So, but we do know, we know when somebody's lying or not telling the truth, or adding a little bit, or actually bullshitting to you. You know, we've got that inside thing that we know when somebody is actually lying to us, but sometimes we don't want to believe it and we don't listen. You know, sometimes I believe and trust in people, and then, you know, and you say, oh, I don't like that person. And I say, oh, no, I think they're good. I think they're good. And then, oh, my God, it always comes back and backfires. So it's a learning, it's a never-ending journey of learning, actually.
Well, you always want to find the best in everybody, which is a really beautiful, it's what I love about you. That's so lovely. However, sometimes it's quite good. I always call myself the gatekeeper of our relationship, because I just have this feeling about people, and I do share it. And often you don't even like to hear what I've said, but it's 100% always comes true. So one of the other things is watch people when they think they're not being watched. That's how they behave. It's not what they're saying. They can be saying all these amazing things to you, but how do they behave? What are they actually doing? And a few years ago, do you remember when we were at a training, and each person was given the name of somebody at the training, and you had to watch that person, and nobody knew who was watching who. And if you really think about it, we are being watched all the time. And during that whole week of training, I wonder who's watching me. You're on your best behavior. And if only we could all be like that all the time, because we are being watched. We are being watched. People notice it, particularly children. They can pick up on any kind of nonsense that you're portraying to the world. They'll pick it up, and they're very aware of it. And you don't want them to learn that it's okay to behave that way either. So that's one of my biggest lessons, I think.
Well, I remember watching the CEO of our company, who's very, very wealthy. I mean, beyond wealthy. And I remember watching him speaking to a cleaner at a celebration and that there. And I actually saw him bend down and pick up a paper that he dropped. And that shows you, it gives you an indication of where he's coming from and how he treats people, and why he was so successful, because he treated everybody equally. And, I really did admire him as a, not only as a business person, but also as a great person, and that to be around as well. And obviously it's, as you say, people show you who they are, and it's just, you can see so many people, so many stories out there, that especially now with all this Facebook and all this news, social media, people can say whatever they like, and it's just, it's, we've heard so many stories, haven't we, about people that we've been speaking to, they're having the worst day, and then they're in tears with us and speaking to us. Then 2 hours later, oh, this is the greatest day that I've ever seen. Well, no, 2 hours ago you were, sobbing, and so people put up only the best, and then unfortunately we compare with what other people are putting up, and we compare ourselves with what other people are saying, when most of the time it's
another story.
I won't say it again, but you know what I'm going to say.
Yes, I think what happens sadly is, particularly with social media, we compare ourselves and with the worst of ourselves with the best of somebody on social media. And even if you look at the people who use filters all the time, it's actually very deceiving, because then when you actually meet that person in real life, it's like, woo, you actually don't look like you did on your social media. And it's that comparison thing that we all tend to do. It's really, really hard. And particularly in our business, there'll always be somebody going faster, losing more weight, putting on more muscle, earning more money, traveling more, having more adventures. That's what happens. And I think we need to all celebrate that. Celebrate those people when they're doing well. We forget to do that. We forget that the more you give out, the more you'll receive. And that is such a natural law of the universe. If only it was taught in every school. The more that you give, the more you will receive. It'll come back tenfold by helping others, by being kind, by saying one word of kindness, by smiling to somebody, just giving something beautiful and being in gratitude. And I must say thank you. I don't know how many thousands of times a day. I just say it all the time. I'm having a shower. Thank you for my skin. Thank you for my feet. Thank you for, I'm so grateful for my life and everything in it. And when you say thank you and it becomes a habit, it's amazing the abundance that comes back to you as well.
Well, another lesson that I have learned, that I didn't celebrate my successes. I always focused on the things that went wrong in my life. And I know a lot of people do that. And one of the things that we have, we always celebrate our successes, don't we? We bought ourselves beautiful watches when we reached a certain level in our business. And then we had if we went to this part of the business and been successful, we took a trip overseas and all that sort of. So we're always giving ourselves gifts and also recognition of ourselves, which is very, very important in that as well, which came from our mentors and that as well.
And also, I've always stood by a mantra, a Sanskrit word, which is Maitri, which is to show loving kindness and compassion to yourself. Because how often do you say things to yourself that your words are so cruel, you would never say them to anybody else around you, even the person that you dislike the most, but you're saying it to yourself. So just being very conscious of how you speak to yourself in your mind, but to show yourself kindness. When you're tired, it's okay to sleep. It's okay to relax. I know I have friends who feel guilty if they do something that's enjoyable because they should be doing their housework. No, the housework will wait. Do the thing that's going to give you joy always. And that's one of the biggest lessons that I've learned, to show loving kindness and compassion to myself as well as everybody else. But it's pretty female trait. We put ourselves on the back burner. I know I have done in the past for my ex-husbands, plural.
Husbands, plural.
But also for bringing up my children. I was a single mom. I was right at the bottom of the pile when it came to needs. And then I realized that I had to look after myself, because unless I was doing well, everybody around me was going to suffer if I was unwell or if I was unhappy. So that showing kindness to yourself, I know it sounds very odd, but is one of the biggest lessons I've learned as I've got older, is to take good care of yourself, to take good care of your thoughts, to take good care of your body, find time for exercise, eat well, look after yourself, stretch. So important as we get older, because they're put to one side. Read a book, enjoy it, lie in the sunshine, under an umbrella. If you live in Australia, this sun is so harsh. But just do the things that really expand your life, make you feel beautiful and abundant. Life is far too short not to enjoy it.
Yep. And also, one of the other lessons I learned, don't let people steal your dreams.
Yes.
That was a big one, because people, when we went into this business 12 years ago, people said, don't do that. That you won't make that. That's ridiculous. And now they're saying, because of our success, we're in 10 countries around the world. We've got over 110,000 people in our team, in our health and wellness business. And now people are saying we were lucky. Well, there was no luck. It was the lucky we got was because of the hard work we put in. And that's, so a lot of people, they love you. They might give you their advice because they want to try and protect you. But if you've got a dream, follow through and take the action. And because if you don't, unfortunately, 90% of people go to their grave and they never, ever, ever reach their full potential, or they don't even attempt and take the action to reach their dreams. So, that's a really big lesson I learned from, several mentors, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. And one of my other things I'd really like to share is travel. Travel, 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 travel. Get a serious case of wanderlust, which I have. I think this world is so extraordinary. This planet is so incredible. If you don't explore and see, there is so much more than just the country you're living in, or the city you're living in, or your little circle that keeps you safe. Stretch yourself, learn another language, learn another culture, spend time living in another country. Look at what other people have or don't have. Appreciation for what you do have. But travel, it is so important. Teach your children. Take them around this world. There is so much fear about travel. And it's so sad. There was last year, people were talking to us about, I would never go to Indonesia, such a dangerous place. I would never go to America. That's such a dangerous place. I'm telling us.
Well, just recently we had one, I would never go to Mexico.
Yes.
Mexico.
Yeah. They have bodies hanging off lampposts.
Bodies hanging off lampposts. And we've been to, you've lived in 18 countries, and we've won 21 free trips around the world. Oh my God.
And we've been to Mexico.
And we've been to Mexico. We didn't see any of that.
No.
We've been to Indonesia probably 10 times. We've been to America many times and that as well. But we've been all around Europe and that as well. But it's just Africa, the people that we've met during these exciting adventures. It's been an amazing experience. And if you can't travel overseas, travel around Australia, or we just come back from New Zealand. We went from Auckland all the way down to Christchurch. It was an amazing
beautiful
trip.
Yes, every trip is incredible. But I was going to say, because we live in Australia, even though I have my very English accent, and I have friends who will not come to Australia because they think it's so dangerous. Yeah. So because of the spiders and the snakes and the crocodiles and whatever, it's just, if you live in fear, you're going to miss out on so much. And that is one of the things I've really, really learned in this life. And luckily I learned it very young. Either you can choose love or you can choose fear. That's how simple life is, actually, when you break it down. So if you want to live in fear, you're not going to move from where you are. You're going to be terrified to go out of the front door. You will not make friends unless somebody has introduced them to you. You're scared to talk to anybody. You won't take a bus, a train. You don't do any adventures. And life is a huge, huge adventure. You have to grab it, but you have to feel the fear.
Yeah.
There was a book, Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. I think it was in the 1980s. Great book. Feel the fear and do it anyway. But love, when you do things with love. And my mother-in-law was one of the greatest lessons for me, because she lived in absolute fear and had decided she was never going to love again because she'd been hurt once. I mean, how many of you on this call have been hurt multiple times. I can tell you I have. Yeah, all hands up. But we continue to love, take the risk. It's worth it. It's so worth it. That's how I found you. Imagine, I would never have found you if I hadn't decided that I was going to fall in love again and allow myself that freedom. And so many people hold on to the fear of another relationship. It's going to hurt me. And my mother-in-law did that. She was hurt once by a man, and that was it. And she actually told me, I will never love you. I will never love your children. I will never love again. And what a lesson to learn. She was one of my greatest teachers, actually, on how not to live. Lovely, lovely lady, but lived in so much fear.
Yeah. Well, over the last 3 years, like I've never seen so much people with having all these fears, fear of the unknown, fear of not being good enough, fear of what's going to happen. What is the government doing? What's going to happen with inflation? What's going to happen with our businesses and all that sort of stuff. So we've all got these fears, but everything comes down to having a choice. As you said, it's either fear or love, and actually, it's your choice how you see the world and act in the world, and that as well.
Yes. Today, actually, I heard one of our team members tell me her 11-year-old son is really worried about getting a job when he leaves school. I mean, he's 11. He shouldn't be thinking about if he'll get a job or not. He should be out thinking, do I get a BMX? Or what am I going to, or a new skateboard? That's what he should be thinking about, the joyful things, and that unfortunately is our society. It puts fear, and the media loves fear, doesn't it? They absolutely love it. And we saw that during a few years ago when there was I don't even know what to call it, but when we all shut down for a while, people got into so much fear, and the crazy, crazy stories that went around. I heard some that I just could not believe, just shocking. So again, taking care of your thoughts, stay in your own lane, choose the people wisely who surround you, who you trust. And I think it's really important. And don't make assumptions. Don't make assumptions about what people are thinking about you. It doesn't really matter what they're thinking about you. That's it's up to them what they think about you. It has absolutely nothing to do with you.
Well, they're not going to pay your bills.
No, they certainly aren't. I haven't seen anybody pay our bills, and they were very quick to criticize us. So these are some of the little nuggets that we've learned over time. And I must say, I'm so glad I have. I'm sure we'll continue learning.
It's a never-ending journey, isn't it? Really?
Yes. Yeah. You don't just reach our age and go, oh, we know it all. Nirvana, we're there. It actually doesn't happen. And you're constantly being tested. And I don't know anybody that doesn't go through this life without being tested in some way or another. We've had despair, heartbreak, tears, and we've had absolute joy and amazing adventures that we never even pictured for ourselves. The life we have now, I couldn't have even imagined for myself. So I hope this helps. I hope you guard your thoughts and your words to yourself and to others. It's really important. Yeah, cleanse yourself of toxic people is really important, and cleanse yourself of toxic thoughts.
Yeah. And also, if you want to share this podcast with other people, please share and just let them know that we're doing these podcasts under Suzanne and Paul, and please share with other people, and so we can spread the word and help other people become successful, and so they can overcome their fears and have an abundant life. You know what I mean? Scarcity is out there so much. So we want to help people with their health and their wealth and relationships and whatever we can help them with. And
yeah,
I'll pass it over to you, because that's your vision to help women.
It is. That area. And to everybody, expect miracles. Expect miracles every day, because they're out there for you. Thank you very much. Bye.